Welcome to The Bitter Jury, a weekly show breaking down all things happening in the Big Brother universe. Of course, we have officially kicked off season 24 of Big Brother America. We got the chance to meet all 16 of our players in the introduction episode. Now, we're recording this podcast Sunday, July 10th. As such, another episode may have been played by the time all of you listeners hear this podcast. You may even already know who's been eliminated on week one of the show. But of course, with the start of a new season comes all sorts of possibilities. And for our first episode of this season of The Bitter Jury, we wanted to have some fun. We have decided to pick teams, not only to add our stakes in this season of Big Brother, but also so that you can follow along as fans. Maybe you'll have a team that appeals most to you. Maybe you'll hop on one of our team captains' bandwagons, and then you'll have a rooting interest as well in all of the action that unfolds over the course of the next few months. Of course, thankfully for me, I have a great team of people joining me on this podcast to help me break down each week of the show. And of course, typically what we'll be doing is exactly that, talking about the latest developments, talking about the things we learn not only from each episode, but from the live streams as well. And joining me to break down season 24 of Big Brother are a couple of people you may have heard from if you listen to our season breaking down the latest Big Brother Canada affair, but of course a new guest joining us as well. Let's start though with the man behind the scenes who makes all these things happen, the biggest Big Brother fan I know, the man who got me into the show. It's our producer Daniel Westoff. Westoff, welcome back to The Bitter Jury, episode 1 in the books. You got to be feeling like there's a sense of balance in the force once again.
Well, I think it's time for Dalton to take his victory lap. This is years in the making. I feel like, we just finished our Big Brother Canada 10 season. I feel like I'm getting called up from the minor leagues up to the major. Let's not do a baseball reference because I'm not a baseball fan. I just got done with the G League. Now I'm headed to the NBA. I'm excited. There's things about Canada I'll miss. It's a smaller house. Competitions are a little weaker. But I'm liking it. I've been deep in the live feeds, and I'm having fun with the season already.
Yeah, it's, again, I know for a fact the live feeds are now on in the Daniel Westoff studio. That is his office at all times. That's how you know Big Brother is officially rocking and rolling. But if Daniel Westoff is not the biggest Big Brother fan I know, that title belongs to another man joining us on the show, a man who breaks down each and every relationship, each and every angle he sees unfolding in the Big Brother house, and man who makes this jury that much better. It's our friend Charles Matthews. Charles, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I have beer in hand. I am still pretty amped up over the Big Brother Canada season that we watched. So let's go, BBUS. Don't let us down.
That's what I like to hear. I have water because, it's early. I still got to have coherent takes for this draft. I can't blame my team on the booze. And so, again, watered up for today's show. But a man who's always a bit buzzed, the fourth man of our Bitter Jury, a man we are so excited to welcome to our show. It is our friend Dalton Thieneman. Dalton, welcome to the Bitter Jury. I'll tell you this, you're very bitter. It's great to have you on this podcast. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. I had so much FOMO that I wasn't involved in the first podcast for BB Canada that I'm here. And first and foremost, I feel so left out right now. The three of you guys have headsets on and I just have AirPods, but doing my thing anyway. Super excited that, this is finally going to happen. Westoff, like you mentioned, I've been trying to get you to do this for years, but the audience should also know this is just the first step, first piece of the puzzle. So first the podcast, next you're getting on the show, Westoff. But that's all I'm really doing.
I love it.
Well, there's a connection now that maybe I have an in to get on the show. We'll see.
It's true. I mean,
don't we, Gruskin?
How Dalton's on this show is that we've already pivoted to video and that we've got a full production set up. It's just a podcast isn't enough anymore. We got to go live on YouTube. And no, it's great to have all three of you here. Obviously, we'll all try to follow the season from every angle that we can. And the good news about having four faces, four sets of eyes is that anything we miss, someone in this group is likely to pick up. And again, typically what this show is going to be. Us breaking down all the developments. We'll talk about the challenges. We'll talk about head of houses. We'll talk about who wins those powers of veto, any alliances that begin to form. But, of course, we only really got the chance to meet everyone in episode 1. And to quote my boy Pooch, I mean, he's nominating people to join him in whatever the backstage club is called, backseat cash or whatever they call those
Keeper
people.
of the keys, Dalton.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I pick you, and what's your name? Yeah, you. Like, that was how he did it. And we're in a very similar spot at this point as well. Not a lot of action for us to break down. So as I alluded to, what we're going to do to make this season that much more fun, we're going to pick teams. We're going to have a draft here. We'll do it old school. Snake draft. That means 1 through 4. Going to pick our first 4 players, then we'll go 4 through 1 in terms of the drafting order. All of us going to have the opportunity to pick 4 players to our teams. Those 4 players will be our representatives throughout this season. I suppose they'll be the ones we focus on as we watch all of these episodes unfold. And again, it's early. We don't know much. We know some about all of these players. We're going to see those as we've learned, your first reaction to someone, first impression, always that lasting impression. With that said, super producer Daniel Westoff has offered me the opportunity to pick today's draft order, and I know the order of operations of people in my life I need to keep buttered up, and let me just tell you, an unequivocal number 1 is Daniel Westoff. If it's ever a pick, where I need someone to go first, no disrespect to anyone, but happy wife, happy life. So Daniel Westoff, with that in mind, the first pick of Season 4 of the 2022 Big Brother, a bitter jury draft, goes to you. What we're going to do, again, going to make these picks, offer a little commentary as to why, and we'll rapid fire through. If you have any comments, he's at CR Producer, he's at Dalton Thieneman, I'm at AL Gruskin. Charles, do you have a Twitter?
I don't, actually. I'm boring. I just have Instagram.
No, you know what we're going to do? I know we have a bitter jury Twitter feed.
Yes.
Dalton's going to hand that over to you. You can just control the reins. Don't hurt, again. Yeah. We'll all have editorial rights over it. Let's be clear. We'll help you out as always. You can throw it in the group chat, but that'll be how you get to Charles at a
Also have the BB Jury Instagram handle as well. But Charles, what's your Instagram handle?
Charles Matthews 82.
See, that's the other good thing to have, Dalton. I
easy.
forgot Instagram. That's a thing as well for the kids. With all that said, enough of our talk. Let's get to drafting. Westoff, the first pick is yours. Who are you going to take here as your favorite right now to capture the season?
Well, I'm excited for this pick.
By the way, scoring system to be, as you'll learn, interruptions, a feature of an Alex Gruskin hosted show. How we're going to do the scoring, it's in reverse order, so if you come in 16th, you get 1 point. If you come in first, you get 16 points. Whatever team at the end of the season has the most points win. We agree? That work for everyone? Thumbs up if it does, and I can indicate to everyone that.
Bonus if you pick the winner. You get a bonus if you pick a winner.
5-point bonus if you pick the winner. Lock it in. I like all of these rules on the fly. Let's do it. With that said, that's your
Dalton's
scoring
shaking
system.
his head. I'm with Dalton, but that's
all right.
We got it.
Well, you know what? We'll adjudicate that as a jury after the show, but it'll be roughly something like that. With that in mind, super producer Daniel Westoff, hit us with your first pick.
Well, we obviously took a lot of time to prepare for this because we came up with an order on the fly. We don't have a punishment or a reward or or whatever. We're just having fun talking Big Brother.
Next week.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited for this. I feel like there's a lot on the line for those who didn't follow us in our Canada season. We didn't do a draft. But Charles casually called a winner on the first episode we ever recorded.
Hey, wait! It wasn't casual. It was a pretty definitive thing, but that's fine.
Give him his props. I'll give him his props. So I feel like I got to make a bit of a comeback here. So I've been watching the feeds. I've been hitting up my sources. Shout out to my sister Sarah Flights. We had a texting conversation right before this. I got pages of information on her thoughts. But I think, especially with the first pick, it's super easy. Like, who has won the last 5 seasons of US? I know we just watched Canada, and we had an unathletic schemer, behind the scenes guy win, but that's a rarity. And I think there were portions of the Canada style of game that really affected that. The head of household not playing in power vetoes and things like that. But the last few winners of Big Brother US, Xavier, Mickey, even Casey, strong female. Why am I blanking on the All-Star winner? The Cody. Yeah. Strong, athletic, good personality. So, and on top of the cherry on top of that, that's like finalizes this for me. I'm choosing Monty. His first career was an engineer, and he just didn't like the lifestyle of engineering, so he switched it to whatever he is now. I relate to that. I quit my engineering job to do tennis and podcasting Big Brother full time. So that's my guy. I'm going with Monty, and I think that's a winner.
It's a good pick. Do we have an ability to put an X on the screen when the player's been picked?
Dude.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, I got this. Don't you worry.
Super producer Daniel
Of course
Westoff
you
on
do.
top.
Look at this. Thought of everything.
Monty is off the board. It's a good pick. It's a safe pick. Certainly, again, he wins his opening competition. He has the ability to, again, seems likable one episode in. It's a safe pick. It's a strong pick. Logic checks out. Second pick of the draft, and if you have any comments, obviously feel free to throw them in. Obviously, got to go to my guy, Charles. Charles, pick number 2 belongs to you.
I thought
So good thing is Monty would have been far down my list because I, unlike Daniel,
Where was he on your board?
I didn't get that far, but he's probably 12 or 13.
Wow, third round pick wasted on
Yeah.
number 1. Mel Kiper has reported Westoff.
I know.
I had
I
it
know.
number 4, what it's worth, but
Okay,
Yeah.
And here's
Whoa.
the thing. Here's the thing. I got Canada right. Again, it's a different cast of people without doing the deep reference dive that Daniel did. So I'm going to go off of pure instinct here again. This person, I'm going to go with Nicole. She actually gave me a little Derek. Yeah, she gave me some Derek vibes with the former police officer. I don't know. There was just something about her vibe, and I'm going hardcore this year saying that a quote-unquote non-athlete is going to end up winning a Big Brother US this year. You're wrong, Daniel. I'm coming for you.
No, Nicole, right away, engaging. Obviously, she didn't win her competition, and we've seen 5 minutes of competition, but yes, checks off a lot of boxes as well, similar to... I would say she counts as an athlete, Charles.
I've seen some police officers that aren't athletes, but
Fair.
I guess I maybe shouldn't say that, but we can put that on record.
That's fair. Dalton, you look as though that was a tough pick. You had her high on your board.
yeah, I almost gave away my whole big board here, and I thankfully did not. But she was number 1 on my big board. Brains bronze. Charles, for the same reason as you, I feel like she's got some Derek vibes. Also some KC vibes too. She's got a good personality, started off as a police officer in her career, and now she's a private chef on a yacht. If you're not a Below Deck fan, then you're doing something wrong. So that would have been my number 1.
The only downside I see to her, just from watching the feeds, she's super outgoing. She seems like she'd be athletic.
A target.
She seems kind of like a bit of a Gruskin, where every conversation she butts in and has to have a comment and a new story. And I think that could rub some people the wrong way, who, if they get power, if she tries to step on their storytelling or thoughts and ideas.
Does she sing Sierra throughout the house?
That's why you're a great podcaster. So.
Checks out. Hey, I hear no lies. All I heard, yes, we don't know her Sierra songs. We'll have to check in on the live feed over the years if that's in her Rolodex. I think it's a good pick. I think both so far, those would be 2 top 5 candidates. I'm going to go look up the betting odds as we look at this third pick. And this third pick's going to go to you, Dalton, because I want 2 in a row for 4 and 5. So third pick goes to Dalton Thieneman. Who's he taking?
Like I said, I was all in on Nicole. I did not expect her to go this early from anybody else. I'm going to take, this is going to be a pick that I know, Charles, you're going to freak out. Westoff, I think you're going to freak out too, that I took him this early. But for all the right reasons, so none of the classic, things that happened this season, I'm going to go with Joseph. He's got some Jackson Mickey vibes. I think he's going to win every comp. He's a lawyer in the making, and he's a personal trainer. Good personality. Is it South Beach that he's from?
I don't know.
Good question.
But yeah, that's who I'm going to go with. I'm confident in this pick.
No,
That was simple.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick. I think it's a fair
Westoff's
pick.
like, that was terrible.
Yeah, Westoff.
I mean,
he's
he's a physical beast.
Yeah.
He's been a bit quiet the first few days, and when he does talk, he seems to ramble a bit, like he's kind of scatterbrained. But everybody likes him.
I don't mind playing the cards close to the vest early on. All these people that want to come out of the gate and win HOH the first week.
Well, don't hate on the HOH first week. You get it's 4-1 better odds if you win the first HOH.
So, with that in mind, as we take another player off the board, again, snake draft here, so points 4 and 5 here. Draft picks, 4 and 5 going to me. I mean, look, a lot of good names right now currently on the board. That's interesting that's who you're going to pick there, DT. Westoff, it would have been lower on my board. That's a classic Dalton pick. All right, as Westoff just said, and I think it's a make-believe number, but apparently your odds improve by 4-1 if you're Big Brother Week 1. Now the key is you can really fuck things up that first week if you, as we saw in Big Brother.
Let me make a caveat. You greatly increase your chances if you become the first HOH and you pick a target and that target leaves the house. But if you pull a Frenchie, you're screwed. So it's a high risk but high reward.
Did you just sit and watch Michael's feed for hours since he was quoting all this shit, like during his thing of I have 8 pages of Big Brother statistics?
He probably got him off my 10-page books.
I'm going to make 2 picks, one based on floor, the other based on ceiling. And then the third reason is because when you combine their 2 names, you'll be like, oh, great pick. I'm going to go Turner on the floor. I just don't think Turner's going to piss people off. I don't think people are going to dislike Turner. And I think his likelihood of getting to the jury, if nothing else, is significantly high because of that. We saw him. Was he doing the pull-up hang on day 1 or was doing one of those? I think he was the pull-up hang or whomever it was and was in the mix in the final 3. There's some physicality there. There's a lot of hair there. Hair generally bodes well, in my opinion, in life. I mean, I wouldn't know. Dalton, I'll defer to you here. I just think I just could see Turner. Is he last?
First comment I have for Turner, first week out, question mark?
No.
Yeah, I don't even know who he is anymore, and I was watching, episode 2 in the background. So
I think, but that's what I'm saying. That's my bet is that he's not going to be a target. He'll just be hanging around, and then it'll be week 5, and he's going to win a competition. Everyone's going to be like, holy shit, is Turner going to win this? And it'll be like maybe just by virtue of hanging around. I think especially early on, you just don't want to piss people off. You don't want to have a glaring trait, positive or negative in your case, and that's why I'm taking Turner. Now, again, what I want to do here is take Turner and Pooch and then just call my team Turner and Pooch in reference to Turner and Hooch, of course. Shout out. But Pooch is such a boomer bust. Like, he could win it. He could lose it the second week.
I hate that I like that much, Gruskin.
Yeah, I know you would. I know you'd like Turner and Pooch. That was literally Dalton.
For Dalton and Charles, who would you say would be a good comparison for Turner would be to a past player?
So just real quick, and not everybody on the call or in the audience knows him, and this is not a former player either, so I'm not even answering the question, but Hooch Gruskin reminds me of Woj from Case Western. He's like the football Woj, a little bit, right? He's kind of wiry. He's like,
if you crossed Woj with BB Canada's Gino, you'd have Pooch. It's very similar. All right, so do I go the Poochmeister? No, because he's going to be around for me next.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Who would you guys compare him to?
I feel like you. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. Go ahead.
I don't think he has the personality, but I think he's the off he reminds me of Rockstar. That just he kind of just is he doesn't fit in with everyone socially yet. And he's just kind of like oddball. But if he has the personality, Rockstar overcame that with the personality. Sort of. She made it to jury.
Yeah.
To wear that color shirt and those color pants on the inaugural episode, that's a man with confidence. And you need confidence to win.
And what's going on with his hair? The two-tone?
So, you'll learn. You'll give it a month.
You'll learn.
So from a guy who hasn't watched
I'm just
the
saying,
live
like,
feeds, still
to
learn.
keep that up.
Yeah.
From a guy who hasn't watched the live feeds, what's his game like style been the first couple nights?
You asking me?
No, the other people.
What's
who
his
He's,
personality like?
He gets along with everyone, but he is kind of he's not in a lot of circles. He's basically become Pooch's right hand man. Like he just follows Pooch
He is
around.
Pooch.
So
He is Pooch.
he and Pooch are like
Turner?
this now. Yeah. No, Turner. We're talking.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Turner and Pooch have become best friends?
I don't know if they're best friends, but Turner has become like the soldier for Pooch, basically.
Wait, then I think I have to pick Turner and Pooch. But I'm not going to. I'm going to go.
Plus, that's
You
a great-
did pick Turner and Pooch.
What?
That's
No,
a great.
I didn't.
Wait,
No,
are you
no, no.
backtracking?
I said I wanted to, but I was deciding
Okay,
not
okay.
to.
Yeah, he hadn't picked yet.
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
Just because you live in the same house, you don't have to defend each other.
That's why I gave him the first pick.
That's the last
bitter
thing I would
jury. So bitter.
The bitter roommate.
He just compared me to someone who butts in on conversations. Yeah, so let's relax. I'm gonna go with Amira because I just like her. Like I just there's a lot. I think she's just a calming presence in the house. Much like Turner again. I'm going with the floor picks here early. I want my teams to all finish in. I think both of these players are going to finish in the jury by virtue of just again they're not going to be big targets early on, and I just think they're going to get along with everyone. Westoff, you're our live feeds resident expert. Has Amira gotten along with people so far?
Sorry, I've just got a text from my sister that my mic isn't hooked up. Or I'm using the other mic. I'll switch it in a second. Come back to me.
Okay, I will. DT, you're smiling.
So with Amira, I wrote down. I don't know what your question was. Sorry, I wasn't listening.
But they love me, Charles. They love me.
Well, I'm like caught up in my notes now because you went from Pooch to Turner to Amira. Amira is a great pick. I had her at number 5 on my big board, and I literally have down might run the house behind the scenes. Like
All right, hold on. Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah, you're on that audio now.
All right. Thank you, Sarah.
Bingo. Thanks, Sarah.
I will say Amira, she was the first person to make a game move, sort of. Like everyone that first night was like, when are we supposed to talk game? Everyone was just kind of hanging out. And she was the first one who went up to the HOH room and was like, look, like I'm going to talk game. Here's what I thought. And that actually, like when she left, Daniel, the HOH, was like, oh man, like she's not on my radar. Like I trust her. So good on her. Good pick.
Yeah.
Hey, Westoff, Sarah said your audio is still not working for some reason.
It's work. I can hear it.
I mean, I can hear it better, but
It's probably an old comment because I just fixed it. So
Yeah. Anyways, that said, Amira I'll take then. I'm not going to go Turner Pooch. I might get Pooch on the back end as well. But, I mean, look, I feel pretty good about that pick. I didn't hear much I mean, it sounds like you guys are down on Turner, but that's fine. You're wrong. And you get to be wrong for the rest of this season.
I'm neutral. I don't believe in him,
Yeah,
but
I
he's
don't
whatever.
know who he is yet. So
This is why he's valuable. All
He
right,
could be
with
a
that
Kevin.
said- yeah.
You don't know.
honestly,
He's not a Kevin.
like,
And
from
see, I have
all
a
of the preview
Kevin.
clips,
Yeah.
all of the preview clips with whatever, I literally died laughing from Turner's because he literally had that rug renovation equipment.
That's
and I was
why
like,
I had
what
to
is
have
going
him.
on right now?
I had to
I'm
have
out
him.
on that.
Westoff and I need a new rug in our
out on
house,
that.
so I'm in on him. All right, I'll take Amira off the board. Westoff. With that said, Dalton, your second pick.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We're getting low into the board. Any top 5 players left?
I have one. And I think you guys may like this pick. Not as a winner, but like locked in jury member.
Head of household Daniel for week 1 still on the board for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that probably for Daniel as like
Yep. I was thinking that too.
historian, super fan, and the namesake. I almost went with him. So I'm gonna go with Terrence.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some Cliff Hogg comps in him. No, Westoff. I hate my first 2 picks now, but I'm still going with him. So, bus driver by day, DJ by night. He seems like the super lovable old guy, and I think he's gonna at least make it to jury at the very least.
By the
You
way,
know
when all of your players have been eliminated, you're off the podcast. So
2 weeks in, I'm out.
we might be done with you by week 4, Dalton. That's gonna be nice.
Wait, Westoff, tell me what you're thinking about Terrence then.
Well, I mean, if your best, I mean, Cliff Hogg, okay, he did make it to Final Four, I guess, but like that was
What
like
do you guess?
that was like the best he could have done, and he had like a lot of good breaks. I don't see him winning the game, so like I don't think you picked a winner. You probably, if we're going for total points your fantasy team is going to get, he could get to jury maybe. We'll see. Everybody likes him. Nobody wants to see him go, but nobody is protecting him, and no one's talking game with him. So it's like he's just going to float for a while.
Like, let's take a little like back road here. So like, how much do the first few days matter in the big scheme of things? Like, I feel like everybody's feeling each other out. Like maybe I know last season was different where, the cookout kind of formed and locked in and was that way the entire season. But I feel like that's not the case typically.
Yeah, but this isn't based off, him in the first couple of days. I'm going off of most winners nowadays are athletic men. If you're going to be the old dude, you need to be the like center point of the alliance creation. Like you got to be doing extra work because no one's going to, when they're creating their alliance, be like, we need that old guy because you don't bring a lot to the table. So, and he's just from watching the last few days, he's more of a sit back, watch player. He doesn't feel super comfortable, which I get. You're not the same age as everyone there, but you really got to be like Donnie. If you're going to be the old guy, be the fun old guy. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Still going with Terrence.
Okay.
all right. With that said, then Charles, second pick is yours.
All right. Gosh, I actually still have a few people, so hopefully I can grab these folks and you all pass over them. I'm gonna go with. All right, I'm going with Jasmine officially.
I like that pick.
A couple of reasons. There's a couple people in the house who have lost parents who I may or may not have cried. Daniel, shout out to the criers. So when they kind of told their story about, losing a parent, being that person as well, I kind of had a soft spot for it. Jasmine, though, stuck out to me because she gave me, and I am going to make a Canada reference here, but she gave me very Marty vibes because I love her accent and it drew me in. And we all know how much I loved Marty and BB Canada, and I think she's gonna make a good run. Yeah, I haven't watched live feeds or anything, but I think that she's going to have some mass appeal to the girls and the guys, and be able to push herself.
It's a good pick. She was high on my board. I was hoping she'd get back to me in the snake. I think I got caught by the Turner and Pooch strategy. I should have gotten her and Amira, but I like that pick. Westoff, 2 picks for you.
Okay. I'm just kind of making this up on the fly, but I think one of my picks is going to be Kyle.
Damn it!
I don't love his personality, but I do think it was just like opening week. Your first time on television. He just like every conversation, his reactions are enormous, and for like no reason. Like I was watching the live feeds and they were talking about. I don't even remember who he was talking to, but someone was like, "Oh, have you seen Pride and Prejudice?" And he was like, "Oh my God, best movie I've ever seen! Like, I can't believe you like that too." And I'm like, nobody likes Pride and Prejudice that much. So
Hannah does, but I don't know if that counts.
Shout out Hannah. But he's super athletic. He is outgoing. He draws people to him. That over the top enthusiasm, will give people confidence and make them feel better about his interactions with them. And so I just think, I don't know how strategic he is or how much he knows about the game, but those ingredients I think make a good player. So I think it's a decent pick. Any reaction to that while I update the graphic there?
Kyle is one that's still in my top, so I'm a little salty that you picked him. One of my notes though is that he's kind of a wannabe jock because I think he wants to be that bro, but he's actually probably a bigger nerd than he would like to admit. But I think physically that he may be able to make a good run. And, that's the thing too, depending on how everyone else perceives him in the house, that big over the top it could either be annoying or it could be an endearing quality. Right. So it could be interesting with him for sure.
I do like that pick as well, Westoff. I think, again, in terms of, well, I don't know if we've seen anything real out of him yet, because when I was watching the live stream, someone was like, hey, have you seen Shrek 2? And he was like, oh, my God, I love that movie. And so, no, I just think we haven't seen
one of the better of the Shreks, if,
Yeah, exactly. 2, 3, 1, we all know. No, I would just say in terms of, I still think we've seen anything real out of him yet. At the same time, he's loud. He's around. I mean, I've never seen someone be so afraid of getting blue slime all over their outfit quite like he was in that opening episode.
Hey, protect those white sneakers.
Exactly.
Hey, and the guy likes to dance. And if I remember correctly, the first time the four of us met, dancing was an important part of the night. So
it's fair.
Most of the night, I think.
Oh, I don't just sing Sierra. I dance to Sierra, Charles. Let me tell you. We'll save that for episode 4. All right, Westoff, pick number 2.
I'm between two. One of them is more active right now than the other, but I think the other might have a better long-term prospect. I'm going to go Alyssa. She's the one I think has a better long-term prospect. Right now there's one alliance that's actually I think has legs to it, and she's pretty central to it. And everyone seems to like her, and she's she's good at starting conversations with the people who are quieter in the house. And I think that that's a great strategy, is to go find the people who are a little out of place, be their comfort to them, and that'll make them a key ally to them. And she did that with Michael before he was even on the block. So yeah, I don't think she's going to win the game necessarily, but I think, she's a jury lock.
This is no fair. You know who's on the block. You know things we don't know. I mean, it's fair.
Public information.
This is all fair. I have no qualms with the pick. Charles, anything to say before we move on to your next pick? And
I have the word nope written by 2 people in my notes, and I have to say that Alyssa is one of them.
Damn it.
So
well, you were the one.
She didn't get a lot of airtime in the first episode.
There was just something about her intro video and something about when she walked into the house that I just immediately wanted to change the channel. And I don't know. That's just a hard no. You know what? Props to you if she makes a good run, but I'm not here for
this
it.
makes me a little nervous, because you and I had a back and forth about, was Summer a good character or a bad character? Again, you won that battle. So you have a good sense of character on these shows, and I have not been proven right. So I'm not confident.
It's okay. It's okay. This is our first. Well, yeah, this is our first go. Even though I'll bring up Canada often.
Oh yes.
Yeah, fair. All right, with that said,
just before we move on, I didn't get to say this about Kyle. Not that my big board has any credibility at this point, because Westoff has laughed at every single one of my picks. But I had him at 14. I just feel like he was so innocent and so hyped up, just like you guys said.
Who, Kyle?
Kyle, yeah.
I will say, when we were watching the episode, Gruskin and I were like, we hate that guy. No to that guy. But then I picked him. So
I did like the little pickleball clip in his intro video.
His pickleball was so much better than Taylor's tennis. If we're criticizing racket sports here, like that you can include. The Taylor, I don't know. Anyways, Westoff, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I was just going to say, don't take any of my picks for certainty. My big brother heart always goes with the underdog, and so sometimes that's going to seep through. So
the underdog. I'm
a Nicole and Cliff fan.
Underdog?
No. I mean, in the past, no. I'm going against my inner instincts. In the past, I'm a Nicole and Cliff guy. I'm always that underdog guy. So I'm really I'm trying to pick the opposite of what my heart is telling me. So
that's always smart. It's always a smart thing to do here as we're picking our team.
Head over heart.
Yeah, with that in mind, Charles, your third pick.
So I truthfully feel as if I need to throw a guy in here, but I'm not feeling great about any of them that are left on the board, which means I'm going to go with a girl that gives me a little bit of Angela vibes. So I'm thinking that she's going to be a little bit of a physical threat, and I'm going with Paloma.
Mm-hmm. Good pick.
Just
She
so you
was the
know,
highest of these players.
Just so you know, Charles, when I was between two, it was Paloma and Alyssa. Paloma is running the house at the moment. She's the one doing everything, which could be bad or could be good if she solidifies it. So
I had her at number 7 on my big board. That's who I was going to pick next.
Yeah, she was my highest remaining. With that in mind, then Dalton, your next pick. Charles, just by the way, sneaky efficient with all of these picks. There's not a single bad pick on Charles' board.
Yeah, I was going to go with a girl just to switch it up with my team so far, but I think I'm going to go with Daniel. That 4 times odds boost is making me lean that way.
You're the person DraftKings targets when they say, we're going from 2 to 1 to 5 to 1. It's a 3 times boost.
We baited him right where we wanted him to go.
No, it's a good pick. I mean, he already won a freaking competition. And he was the one who won the hanging competition, by the way, now that memory serves me correctly, and then puts the puzzle together. He's the first head of house. I think the argument, particularly at this stage of the draft, is pretty clear. All right. Players remaining on the board. I did get Poochie Boy all the way back to me. Indy, Brittany, Michael, Taylor. Well, here's what we're going to do. Because we know the situation, and she was in my high school graduating class. So I'll just take Taylor. This. Because...
You like her forehand.
No. Because shout out Miss Michigan. And shout out class of 2013. Always fun to spend many formative years with. I mean, again, devastating that she beat me to TV, but a big win.
So we talked about this before we went on. You have to share with the audience.
I guess that's a little juicy. So Taylor, who from the looks of things maybe had it home in week number 1. By the way, it's boom or bust. If you're going to be from my hometown, you better win the damn thing or be knocked out in the first week. If you're like a week 4 exit, that's just like, you can't show your face in town after week 4. But if you get knocked out big, you're like, I was the opening threat. They all acknowledge it from the start. That's an easy pivot for us in the pivot zone. I'm just going to take Taylor. I've known her for quite a bit of time since I was in 3rd grade. Very kind to me. I have no negative experiences to say. Hopefully she can find a way off the block this week.
Yeah, you're saying, are we going to interview her next week?
Maybe. I'll save that one for you guys.
Let me put it this way. She's currently in the same situation or a very similar situation that Derek X was in week 1 last year, where the whole house kind of wants her out, but for no reason at all. People had a first impression off of nothing she did, just the fact that she was a Miss USA and she brought her finale dress out and showed it to people because it had sequins on it, and people were like, okay, well, she's gonna be terrible in this house, and so they made this whole persona, and so everyone's throwing her under the bus. But that's what happened last year. Derek X, he was on the verge of going home. Everybody was throwing him under the bus. Frenchie was making up lies. And then he found a way to get out from under that and became a huge, powerful player in the game. So don't give up hope yet, Gruskin, but she's not in a great spot at the moment.
All right.
Ouch.
But also,
she'd be a fine 5th part of the podcast next week, though. So, it's not a bad idea.
With how quickly your team's eliminated, she'll be the 4th. All right. With that in mind, all right. Now I need a 4th member to my team. Well, I'm pretty sure Michael's on the block next to Taylor, so as much as I love you, Westoff, I'll save you that gem. The Poochinator, Indy, and Brittany. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not taking Michael, and I'm not taking Indy. So it comes down to Brittany and Pooch Dog. Charles, I'm going to say 2 names at you. You don't even have to make a face, but I'm going to read your face, and based off what you think of those 2, that's who I'm going to end up picking. Pooch. Indy. Okay, I saw a smile.
You did not.
Brittany.
That's the face of a professional model. He doesn't flinch.
I know. See, here's the thing. My first 2 picks are going to finish 1st and 2nd, so I've already won. It's just a matter of running up the scoreboard. Poochie can't get eliminated this week, but he might be ripe next week. And if I lose Poochie, what if I lose Turner and Pooch? That'd be devastating.
It's a great duo name, Turner and Pooch.
I know. That's why I picked him.
I hate that I like it so much. I know I said that.
The whole premise of my team. Do I pick Michael, and that way one of these two players survives for next week, and I'm just like, all right, I'm into week 2. No. I'm going with I'll take the Poochie. Give me Poochie boy. We'll rock Turner and Pooch. Is that the right pick, Charles?
Sure. I mean, I was going to pick him just to have a guy on my team, but secretly I kind of like a couple other people still on there. So,
all right, that's
take
fine.
him.
I'll take Pooch. My team is complete. I've got Amira, Turner, Pooch, and Taylor. Dalton, your final pick. Indy, Brittany, Michael.
Oh, I'm glad that it is me. I'm going to do Indy. Not that I know anything about her.
But where are you right
But because it's your favorite city in the world.
Yeah.
Hey, Indy representing that town. Yeah,
First of all, I'm
go with Indy.
1,000% certain that if you asked Dalton what's his favorite city in the world, he would not say Indy. He'd be like, oh, yeah. He'd be like, yeah, it's a long list.
But no, I have to go with Indy. And I, have a girl on the team now. And that rounds it out, baby.
All right, his team now.
She gives me JC vibes.
No.
Ooh. It's the
No, not JC Lynn.
No, JC season 20.
Okay.
There's
Maybe.
mostly about the language barrier. It's not her first English isn't her first language.
Oh wait, Indy's the Brazilian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no!
But she said she was funny in Portuguese, so that's gotta count for something.
Do you want to trade? You aspire to look like Pooch, and I would like Indy on my team.
Wait, so you want Indy?
Yeah, that's a great pick. I didn't realize that was her, and that's a great pick. I think I confused her and Alyssa for some reason. Again, it's
like
episode
she's
1. No, I think she's gonna be really well liked. I think it's a really good pick.
I think so too.
Yeah, no,
she's a stewardess on private jets. Like she knows how to cater to people.
No, I think people are
works with
gonna
different
hate her. I
personalities.
think you should trade her to me for Pooch.
No,
I'll give you a 4th round pick.
I think
next
people
year.
will like her. Will she be able to partake in strategy sessions when all of her communications she seems like she's a half step behind.
Yeah.
Okay, they're doubting you. I feel better now.
How far did Kat make it to Final 5?
Who's Cat?
Cat dog.
Is it Matt?
JC?
Blonde girl from 2021?
Before my time.
No.
Was she 5 or did she get cut at 7?
I don't know who we're talking about, so.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
What season?
I thought she was top 5.
Well, if you
top
know
6.
who it is it a
So
good
she kinda
comp,
reminds me of
Charles?
her.
Is it a good comparison?
I mean, I'm not a fan of Indy, so I'm a little biased right now. But if you all want to trade, that's all you, because I want nothing.
Oh no, I've got Indy locked up.
All right, lock it in then. Last 2 picks. Michael, Brittany, Charles, your choice.
Okay, well, it looks like I'm going to end up having the only all-girl team.
Interessante.
Because Brittany, until I started watching tonight's episode, was actually in my kind of top 5. Again, I have a soft spot for her because she has an ill mother. But I like the hypnotist vibe with her. I don't know if I'm feeling the fact that she's lying and saying that she is a toy tester. I don't know if you all have heard that yet or not, but that's kind of an odd occupation to go with as a Big Brother lie. So we'll see how long she can hold up with that. But, I don't really believe in hypnotism, but there are a lot of people in the world that do, and I feel as if she's going to pull some get out shit and start running a spoon on a teacup and put some people to sleep, and she's going to fuck them up. So I'm throwing Brittany in my 4.
I love it. That leaves Michael to you, Westoff, and with that in mind, that completes our draft.
Can't I talk about Michael?
No, I was going to say, I'm going to go through all to each of you and ask you how you feel about your team, and we'll start with you, Westoff, ultimately.
Westoff, who would you compare him to? Because I have somebody. I'm curious. The Mensa part, super fan.
I don't have a comparison. I also don't really remember the first episode. All of their intros are not in my head. I have no
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I like to carpet.
Is he from Cincinnati?
No, but that's like what they all sound like.
Yeah.
I secretly, I'm kind of confident in Michael. I think he's a jury lock.
He's on the block, though, isn't he?
No, he's not.
I thought you said he was.
He was.
Oh,
I'm trying not to spoil tonight's and Wednesday's episode.
Tricky.
Wow.
He's a comp winner already. He's got some offers for some alliances. He's got some information he's sitting on. My only downside is I was watching the feeds the first night, and like every fear I've had of visualizing myself on the show and like being in the room of 16 people and being like overwhelmed and like not knowing who to talk to, that was him. Like he looked scared. He looked like unsure of what to do. He'd go sit next to two people, say two words, and then be like, oh God, what do I do? It's not a great start. He did get put on the block.
Is he super socially awkward then? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think he's genuine though. Like I think once you get to know him, he'll make some super like deep bonds with people. But
that can be endearing to people though.
Right?
Like,
but,
yeah, exactly.
But you got to survive the first couple weeks, and he was put on the block, so he was almost at risk of going home. But winning in comp, giving himself some more time to make those relationships, I think he's got a chance.
Yeah. Has he shown any? Because I know he's a super fan, just like all 16 of these players in the house somehow. But I think I said that before we started recording, so I had to say that at some point. But he kind of gives me like an Ian vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Where first couple weeks,
I don't mind that. Ian was quiet.
That may be like too,
No, I like that.
Maybe like a poor man's Ian. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. Poor man's Ian.
I'll be interested to see how that plays out because.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say Ian is one of my favorite players, of all time. I don't get an Ian vibe from him out of the gate.
I don't know if I get
the potential is there.
I don't know if I get the intelligence of Ian out the gate yet.
Yeah.
Like Ian was smart as hell, super strategic.
He knew, even though he was awkward, Ian knew what was going on.
Even if he couldn't execute it himself, he knew exactly the moves to make. Whereas this guy may be a fan. He hasn't all he's done really in the house so far, but I haven't watched the feeds today. But he's mostly talking about his wedding plans. So I don't know. We'll see.
But he's part of like the Mensa Society, so his IQ level is like literally 99 percentile. So I think he may show that a little bit down the road.
We'll see.
I don't know. It may be a slow burn. We may, my whole team's probably going to lose the next 4 weeks. And that's going to be the worst take of all time, but I'm going with it.
That's half the fun. Well, again, with that said, the teams are set. Charles, you feeling good?
I feel good. Again, I have an all-female team, and, they may not be the most physical, but I have Paloma in there. I have Jasmine, who I think may actually end up being a little bit of a physical beast. I mean, she works in a farm for crying out loud. So Nicole, again, being a former police officer, and she knows how to cook, she's going to literally win the hearts of people through their stomach and their taste buds. But no, I feel good about my folks. I think that if the four of them randomly come up with an alliance, Brittany's going to hypnotize everyone else into just making them think that they're amazing. And I'm going to have a winner on my hands.
That's what I like to hear. Well, of course, DT, final thoughts belong to you.
I mean, right out of the gate here, I'm not as confident as I was in my big board, obviously. But I don't know. I truly think Joseph has some Jackson Mickey vibes. It may be a slow burn there as well, but I think he's going to come around. Terrence is going to win the hearts of America and the house at some point. So I love the Cliff Hogg comparison there still too. And then
get 6
Daniel win an HOH right out of the gate, and then Indianapolis, we're here. Got to make it happen.
I like it. Westoff, who's the guy you listen to? Taryn?
Taryn, yeah.
When Taryn makes his first Turner and Pooch joke, just remember I made it first. That's all I have.
Also, I thought we had Taryn as like a he who may not be named or whatever on this podcast. Like, because that's the competition, right?
No competition. That's Taylor Hale's the competition of who can be the more famous Country Day alum. And right now I'm losing.
They'll be my future employer when CR doesn't work out.
Too real. Cut that out. No. All right. With all that said, that'll do it. Episode 1 of The Bitter Jury. Our teams have been selected. And again, we'll be back each and every week to recap all of the action that unfolds on the show. Of course, a shout out to Daniel Westoff on the ones and twos, was able to present the visuals you all saw today, and will be editing everything behind the scenes as well. Of course, a massive thank you to Dalton, to Charles as well, for imparting their wisdom and all their goofiness upon us. And again, with that said, episode 1 of The Bitter Jury, our draft is in the books. We will be back next week to break down the first week, talk about who gets eliminated. We may even have our scoring system set by then as well. But with all of that said, for the fantastic Charles Matthews, Dalton Thieneman, Daniel Westoff, I'm your host, Alex Gruskin. You've been listening to The Bitter Jury, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks, everyone.